Mes Aynak, meaning little source of copper, also called Aynak, was a major Buddhist settlement 40 kilometers southeast of Kabul, Afghanistan, located in a barren region of Logar province. The site is also the location of Afghanistan's largest copper deposit. The site of Mes Aynak possesses a vast 100 acres complex of Buddhist monasteries, homes, over 400 Buddha statues, stupas and market areas. The site contains artifacts recovered from the Bronze Age, and some of the artifacts recovered have dated back over 3,000 years. The wealth of Mes Aynak's residents has been well represented in the site's far-reaching size and well-guarded perimeter. Archaeologists are only beginning to find remnants of an older 5,000-year-old Bronze Age site beneath the Buddhist level, including an ancient copper smelter. Afghanistan's eagerness to unearth the copper below the site is leading to the site's destruction rather than its preservation. Archaeologists have photographed the site, and the relics have been excavated. As its name suggests, the presence of copper at Mes Aynak has been known about for some time, while the site's archaeological wealth had been discovered by Russian and Afghan geologists in 1973. Mes Aynak was at the peak of its prosperity between the 5th and 7th centuries AD. Coins of the Algonquin rulers Kingila and Mehma were found here, which confirms the Algonquin presence in this area around 450 to 500 CE. A period of slow decline began in the 8th century, and the settlement was finally abandoned 200 years later. In November 2007, a 30-year lease was granted for the copper mine to the China Metallurgical Group for $3 billion, making it the biggest foreign investment and private business venture in Afghanistan's history. Allegations have persisted that the then Minister of Mines obstructed the contracting process and accepted a large bribe to eliminate the other companies involved in the bid. The Afghan Mining Ministry estimates that the mine holds some 6 million tons of copper. The mine is expected to be worth tens of billions of dollars and to generate jobs and economic activity for the country, but threatens the site's archaeological remains. The site is accessed via a 15 kilometers motorable track from the surfaced road between Kabul and Gardes. The mining leaseholders propose to build a railway to serve the copper mine. As of July 2012, MCC has not developed an environmental impact plan and has remained secretive about feasibility studies and a plan regarding the opening and closing of the mine, as well as any guarantees contained in the contract. International experts have warned that the project, and other similar projects in Afghanistan, could be threatened because MCC has not fulfilled promises made to the Afghan government, such as the lack of provision of proper housing for relocated villagers. Other investments that have yet to be fulfilled include a railway, a 400 megawatt power plant, and a coal mine. A report by Global Witness, an independent advocacy group that focuses on natural resource exploitation, said there was a major gap between the government's promises of transparency and its follow-through. Archaeologists believe that Mes Aynak is a major historical heritage site. It has been called one of the most important points along the Silk Road by French archaeologist Philippe Marquis. There are thought to be 19 separate archaeological sites in the valley, including two small forts, a citadel, 4 fortified monasteries, several Buddhist stupas, and a Zoroastrian fire temple, as well as ancient copper workings, smelting workshops, a mint, and miners' habitations. In addition to the Buddhist monasteries and other structures from the Buddhist era that have already been identified, Mes Aynak also holds the remains of prior civilizations, likely going back as far as the 3rd century BC. Historians are particularly excited by the prospect of learning more about the early science of metallurgy and mining by exploring this site. It is known to contain coins, glass, and the tools for making these, going back thousands of years. All of this historical material is in imminent danger of destruction by the mining endeavor. In response to negative reports in the press comparing the Chinese mining company to those who destroyed the Buddha of Bamia, a plan for minimal archaeological excavation was put in place. This plan still foresees the destruction of the site and everything still buried beneath it, but it does allow for the removal of whatever artifacts can be carried away by a small archaeological team led by DFA, the French Archaeological Mission to Afghanistan. Between May 2010 and July 2011, archaeologists excavated approximately 400 items, more than what the National Museum of Afghanistan housed before the war. The site covers roughly 4 lakh square meters, encompassing several separate monasteries and a commercial area. It appears that Buddhists who began settling the area almost 2 millennia ago were drawn by the availability of copper. More recently, a stone statue, or stele, found in 2010 has been identified as a depiction of Prince Siddhartha before he founded Buddhism and has been taken to support the idea that there was an ancient monastic cult dedicated to Siddhartha's pre-enlightenment life. In June 2012, a conference of experts in the fields of geology, mining engineering, archaeology, history and economic development met at SAIS in Washington, D.C. to assess the situation in MES Aynak. The provisional findings were tentatively encouraging. Because of the length of time before mining can actually start at the site, it is indeed possible for collaboration between archaeologists and mining engineers to work to save MES Aynak's cultural treasures. The site could either become a positive model for mineral extraction working to preserve cultural heritage or become an irreparable failure. However, a number of measures that are not currently in place must be met first. The site is still scheduled for destruction in January 2013. Excavators at MES Aynak have been denounced as promoting Buddhism and threatened by the Taliban, and many of the Afghan excavators who are working for purely financial reasons don't feel any connection to the Buddhist artifacts. The US Embassy in Kabul has provided $1 million of US military funding to help save the Buddhist ruins. There is an international team of 67 archaeologists on site, including French, English, Afghans and Tajiks. There are also approximately 550 local laborers, which is set to increase to 650 in the summer. When this occurs, MES Aynak will become the largest rescue dig anywhere in the world. All these personnel are protected by 200 armed guards. The team are using ground-penetrating radar, georectified photography and aerial 3D images to produce a comprehensive digital map of the ruins. The rescue work has been continuing in spite of difficulties. There were only 10 international experts working at the site, and fewer than 20 Afghan archaeologists from Kabul's Institute of Archaeology. A team of 7 Tajik archaeologists was also helping. Marek Lemius, a senior archaeologist at the site, said that more help was needed. Security was also a concern. There were also indications that mining plans were being delayed because of the declining copper prices. Please like and subscribe our channel for more interesting videos.